March the 28th, 2025. Guys, kind of a detailed video. Not that detailed unless it's late and you got a headache. But so I'm going to try to read through it pretty quickly. This is occurring tomorrow, so I want you to be aware of it for several reasons. One, if you're going to be near a Tesla dealership, be aware of some of the things that are happening, and maybe even some of the electric car recharging ports. You know what I'm talking about. We've seen a lot of destruction there. Now, there's a bunch of groups getting together in this protest and for this revolution, and AOC, one of our representatives, happens to be the leader of one of these groups, just saying. It says far left revolutionaries behind the Tesla takedown color revolution operation have identified dozens of Tesla targets nationwide and are preparing to mobilize far left agitators aligned with the Democratic Party to those locations as soon as tomorrow, Saturday. And it's what the call in the Road Group, reportedly funded by Soros-linked organizations like Indivisible, calls it a global day of action. Now that's coming on the 29th, April 2nd. Trump's got this day of freedom or day of whatever it's called. I can't remember. Anyway, there's a lot of days coming up. Here's a map. Let me pull this down. Again, Tesla takedown. They're saying join the March 29th Global Day of Action. This map marks dealerships around the nation. Now, this one right here that looks like it would possibly be in Mississippi is in New Orleans. So, again, Mississippi, we do have them here. They're not marked yet, but be careful. The reason I'm saying that is what we've seen at these Tesla takedowns is violence, burning cars, burning, again, the power recharge stations and things like that. Now, one of the guys got caught. Now he's been charged. Pam Bundy came on. He was a Chinese guy, guys, by the way. Got caught burning up some Tesla stations. I think it was power stations. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was some cars at a dealership. Excuse me. And now he's had the book thrown at him. Pam Bundy said, you're not getting out. You're not getting any plea deals, even if you just threaten to do this. But again, color revolution. And this is the last, or it's a replay of BLM and Antifa during the first Trump administration, something to take down the nation. Now, they're going to try very hard. They're saying if we do this, and this is a lame excuse, we're going to destroy Tesla's stock. That's not what it's about at all, guys. I think it's about creating a civil war within the nation because they think that's the only chance they have. The Tesla takedown websites link to the Action Network, an online platform used by shady far-left non-government organizations which are always paid by government taxes by us to organize and fundraise, which shows the groups that troublemakers and the Disruption Project are leading tomorrow's efforts to tank Tesla's stock and destroy shareholder value. Again, this is sponsored by troublemakers in Seattle. Additional sponsors one of them is the Disruption Project. Now, there's a common phrase that you'll see in this sentence that is used by every globalist in every state, in every city, in every country on the planet. It says, stopping Musk will do what? It will save lives and what? Save our democracy. That's all they can come up with. And it's exactly the opposite of what the demons who their father is the father of lies, that's what they say. We're going to save our democracy by destroying it. Again, they're saying the stakes couldn't be higher. No one's coming to save us, not politicians, not the media. But Laura Loomer has put up this information, guys, on her Twitter account. She says, these claims are baseless and not grounded in fact. Here's the most comprehensive list of nearly 200 takedowns scheduled for this Saturday, March 25th. And she's got a list here. I'm going to link to the article. says, if you get footage of the protest or catch acts of violence or vandalism on video, please put it inside the Tesla Takedown Watch Doge community created here at this link. Again, Laura Loomer, today. Now again, guys, be aware of where your Tesla dealers are and where the big charge stations are, and avoid it, because it's not really, I don't think, about taking down the stock of Elon Musk. I think it's about creating a situation that's so dramatic that they think let me back this up just a moment. They think something like this, or they want us to think something like this, will make a change. That's not what they're after. They're after a civil war inside this nation. What we don't want to do is participate in that civil war. Again, right now is the time to back up, let them make fools out of themselves. And we're going to test the new FBI, the new U.S. Marshals, and whatever else comes about. I think they would like to push it to where Trump has to declare civil war, where they think then they can use that against him, like he's a dictator now, whatever. But if they force him into that, you know what's going to happen immediately? Supreme Court and their bull crap and these other lawfare judges are going to be taken out. They better understand that under that situation, there won't be any courts. And then Trump and his group will have full freedom to do what they need to do. Now, that may be the thing that happens maybe on a temporary basis, and as long as you don't create a power vacuum within that period of time to where someone comes in that would take advantage of it for nefarious reasons. But right now, the judges are doing everything they can to stop the President of the United States. That should never, ever happen, and it basically is illegal. So that's about to happen. So they're pushing, again, I think, a civil war disturbance situation. But they don't realize that they're going to be the first ones taken down. That's what they want. Then it goes into things like, says, meanwhile, the call to action, or in other words, a mobilization of far-left agitators, some of which are paid by rogue non-governmental organizations, which again are always, the reason they say non-governmental is a lie. It's our taxpayer money that does it. And it's being supported by unhinged Democratic lawmakers. And they're so stupid, guys, they're not thinking it all the way through. They think they've read these communist books that Hillary likes and Obama likes about the purple color revolution and the Marxism and all of that, right? But they're not thinking it all the way through because they have limited capacity to comprehend that they have lost. Just as with Governor Walz. Remember, he was going to run with the camel. Anyway, he was gloating about Tesla stock dropping. And from the records from the Minnesota State Board of Investment, they went in there and looked at it and said, wait a minute, you've got the state, Tim, that you run has 1.6 million shares of Tesla in its retirement fund and 211,000 shares of Tesla in its non-retirement fund. You might want to shut the hell up. Anyway, Tesla takedown organizers plan color revolution to kill the brand and death spiral for investors. Not going to happen. Right now, what happened when they did that to begin with, Trump had a couple of Teslas delivered to the White House, if I'm not mistaken. But, guys, I'm not pro-Tesla cars or pro-electric cars or anything like that. For small distances, I think it's an excellent idea to have something 20, 30-mile radius that you can recharge with your solar panels. But if you're going to depend on these long-term things, I just don't know about the stations. Because they promised, I don't know how many billion that was promised by Biden to put into building the Tesla stations, but out of all of that money, I think only 6 were built, so don't depend on that very strongly. Now, if you've ever read anything about The Art of War, There's several different things about taking advantage of the enemy at its weak point, faking weakness instead of showing strength, things like that. But one of my favorites is if the enemy's destroying itself, don't do anything. Let the fools do it to themselves. And so we're going to name some names here that need to be taken out, and I think they are doing it to themselves. So we can kind of back up, I think, and let Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, some other people move in on this. It says Elon Musk previously wrote on X that an investigation found 5 active blue. Remember, I think they put more funding into the Democratic Party illegally than anyone else on the planet. Again, 5 active blue funded groups have fueled Tesla protests in recent weeks, including Troublemakers, Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, the Indivisible Project, the Democratic Socialists of America. That is AOC's party. Has there ever been such a level of coordinated violence against a peaceful company? Elon Musk is saying, I understand not wanting to buy a product, but this is extreme arson and destruction. Again, Pam Bondi came on today. They got the Chinese guy for blowing up burning Teslas. Thought he would get away with it. He had on glasses and a hoodie. But it's a different FBI. It's a different group of U.S. Marshals. And they tracked his butt down, got him. He's not getting out of jail. And she sent a message. And I'll link to her video about that, saying you're not getting a plea deal. Full prosecution on all levels. You're going to be taken down. Anyway, Tesla takedown claims on its website that its movement is peaceful and opposes violence. That's not true. We've seen the burnings time after time, the cars getting ran into, keyed and burn up, and the power stations. It says, yet there's been a series of domestic terrorism attacks on Tesla vehicles, service locations, and charging networks in recent weeks as the party of radicals and their corporate media allies push dangerous and toxic rhetoric to energize activists. There's nothing more than a rudderless party neutering hate, violence, and destruction. What a beautiful sentence. Rudderless party. You done broke the rudder on your sailboat, and you're at the mercy of the wind. And all you have is hate, violence, and destruction. Again, the art of war. Let them sail that boat into the rocks. Here's our latest report on the Democratic Party's planned color revolution against Tesla by using their network of rogue NGOs. And there's a list here. I'm going to, again, a link to it. It's the rogue who-funded, Soros-funded NGO plots, multi-city assaults on Tesla as domestic terrorism escalates. Number 2, Tesla takedown organizers plan color revolution to kill the brand and death spiral for investors. Tread carefully. Pam Bondi issues the warning to unhinged Representative Jasmine Crockett over the Musk takedown. Don't forget AOC. Dems are using the same color revolution playbook with the NGOs that was seen during the BLM riots in 2020. The party is resorting to violence as Doge slashed NGO funding by neutering the U.S. aid and handing it over to the State Department. And to date, the USA got completely slashed. All of this chaos comes as the Democratic Party's polling numbers have imploded to record lows as their strategy becomes attacking an American company, with some of its supporters firebombing private property. Pam Bondi got him. He's not getting out, and he's from China. This is becoming more and more the situation. Chinese cities, Chinese police stations, one thing after the other. Chinese owning the ports, Chinese owning California, and Newsom, and Pelosi, and a bunch of other people. That's got to come to an end, guys. There's a lot of other information coming out. It's just getting a little late. I'm going to let this go, but it has to do with the same thing. They're planning a civil war to happen here. Hope, because that's all they have left is to try to burn it down and raise their new world order out of the ashes of the phoenix. We're not going to let it happen. Guys, we're watching this. You watch it. It's heads up. Be safe.